Good morning, boat lovers. It is the day to get these decks ready finally. Just going to open this shed door and get a bit of natural light in here as well. That's better. Got the fluoros on and a little bit of natural light as well. All right, boat lovers, as I was saying, going to get into these decks today, so I'll be taking all of these clamps off, planing the edges all along these side decks, and then starting to put the decks into place. So that is the plan for today. Hello boat lovers, welcome aboard. I'm Steve and I'm single-handedly building Dragonfly. She's a 53 foot or 16.2 metre flat bottom wooden riverboat. She includes twin outboards, aft cabin, galley, a saloon, wheelhouse, separate head and shower, and a centerline queen double up front. She's specifically designed for the sheltered and inland waters of the River Murray here in South Australia. Join us each week to watch the mayhem and madness of one man and his rescue dog building a massive 53 foot flat bottom wooden riverboat. Alright boat lovers, the first thing I have to do before I can put these decks in place is plane these edges, get everything smoothed off, so a bit of planing and sanding. The camera probably doesn't show it, but the plywood comes up here and sits up a little bit above this edge, so I've got to plane that perfectly flat and smooth, and just do a bit of sanding, get everything sorted out. I've also got a piece of plywood to put in here to bring this up to the height of this before I can put another piece on top. So a little bit of mucking around of preparation, and then I think I'll try and lay these side decks all the way down to the back. There's no hatches or anything other than a little round inspection hatch to get to this. Everything else is straightforward down the sides, so I'll be laying those first. And once that's done, then I can take my time and work on getting the deck on the aft deck, because that's quite involved, getting all those hatches and everything marked out and in place. So I think that's a plan. Get this all trimmed up and smoothed off and prepared, and then start putting on some side decks, which I'm hoping to be able to do today. Alrighty, let's get decking. Okay, so thanks for all your suggestions on this side. Most people like the idea of this little sweeping line. A few people thought we should come straight down, and some thought we should just do a hook like this. So I've decided to do the sweep. Excuse the background noise, it is raining, which is great. Yeah, I've decided to do the sweep. If for some reason when I've finished and I'm looking at all and I don't like that, I can trim it back. But I think this is going to look quite nice. Despite having mostly straight lines, we've still got some nice curves around the deck line, and I've looked at a lot of old 30s and 40s sort of gentlemen's launches, those sort of classic boats, and some of them do have this sweeping line here, some of them have just a curve like that. Anyway, I've chosen this one. I'm going to cut it out. If I'm not happy with it later, I can change it. Let me know what you think. But I think it looks just nice and soft, soften things a little bit. That's what I'm going to go for. Alrighty. Time to fire up the Gigasaurus and cut this out. This will of course have some trim running over the top later that comes down to meet the gunnels. I just had to take this edge off so I can get the jigsaw in there. Up to here was easy, but here I've got this backing board behind it, so it's quite thick. But I think the jigsaw will do it. Just have to go slowly. I think that might be a screw there. Well, that's the first bit. We've got a screw here, so I have to get past that. Exactly where I need to cut. There's the culprit. Alright, boat lovers, back into it this morning. Can you get these decks all put in place? Great progress yesterday. This morning I'm going to cut out the side of the step down on this side of the boat. This one here. As you saw in the last video, I've done the other side, but I hadn't done this one. And I'll just give you a quick shot. There's my decks just sitting in place. They're just sitting there roughly at the moment, ready for me to glue everything. I have to wet out the underside of all these sheets, of course, and make some joining blocks to join the sheets together and get them down in place. But first, I'm going to get this side cut out with my trusty jigsaw. Then I can get into the decks. Alrighty. Got to keep the dust out of the old eyes and protect what's left of my ears after so many years of drumming and playing in bands. This will all get a capping on it later, a nice little hardwood trim just to highlight that curve. So I'm getting this roughly cut now. As I say, later when all the decks are done, kind of second fix time, we'll have some lovely hardwood trim on there, probably varnished. Trying to keep the varnish to a minimum on the outside of the boat, the bright work, because of maintenance, of course. So I'll probably have varnished wheelhouse doors, a couple of highlights, like probably the timber handrails will be varnished, and a little bit of trim here, and that's about it, because I don't want to spend weeks on end every year redoing all my bright work. I've been down that road, and it's not a lot of fun. After this, I think I need to do a reasonable tidy up, because I'm starting to trip over myself and I can't find anything. I'm quite a messy worker. I tend to just put stuff everywhere while I'm working, and usually I know where it all is, and then after a while it gets on top of me and I just have to do a full tidy up. I really have a lot of respect for these people who manage to work and continually maintain a really neat environment. Good luck to them, but I just can't do it. Alright, that is going to do for now. I can start getting these decks happening. Alright, let's get this mess sorted out. I just realised I haven't sanded this side down yet. I did the other side, all planed and sanded. This one I've planed off, but I haven't sanded the top yet just to get any little lumps of epoxy or anything off. There's no point vacuuming this out and getting it all clean if I haven't sanded, so guess what the next job is? Sanding. It's only with the orbital, so it shouldn't take long. I've got a 40 grit just to take off any bumps, rough up the surfaces. That'll make a great bonding for the epoxy. All right, sanding time again.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. 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 And I feel fine.
I needed that. That is a good way to start the morning. Well, I was pretty tired yesterday, but today I'm feeling much better. So I'm going to get stuck into actually putting those side decks on today. I did preparation yesterday, getting a few little reinforcing bits put in place and finishing a few things and a bit of tidy up. But this morning, after this fantastic coffee, I am going to start putting the side decks in place. So finally we get there. Cheers. It's only decaf, but for me that's enough. Full strength coffee makes me even more hyper than what I normally am. So decaf is enough to get me up and at 'em in the morning. All right, let's do it. Guess you didn't lock the shed last night. That would be me. Oh well, boat's still there. I'll just show you that hatch that's going in next to the wheelhouse door. Whoa, up onto the milk crate. Here we go. That's the one that I have to put in the deck, obviously, because I can't get any access through the side. I have to see what it's like to walk along this side deck even though it's not properly in place. I just have to do it. Let me grab my coffee and I'm going to walk along there. That's pretty easy walk around deck. Well, that is worth getting excited about for sure. Yeah, that's just like I expected. Really easy to walk around, and of course there's going to be a handrail on top of the saloon roof there, something to grab, and there'll be, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have handrails on the outside. I'll finish this coffee and we'll get to work. I had to beef up the area where these sheets lap, where the edges meet, just at the back here, just to make sure that I've got plenty of surface for the sheets to attach to. So I just put this extra piece along here last night. That gives me a great surface. Actually what happened is that this end panel slightly curves in, just an error from me when I was putting it in. So that means that the sheet that was going down on here didn't have much surface to grab to. So as I say, I've just bulked that out a little bit, and now we've got plenty of meat for this sheet to screw down onto. I'll get these clamps off, and then I'll keep making these joining blocks, and then we start to put the sheets down. I'll just run the sander over the top of this, get the little lumps and bumps off, and then we're good to go. Alrighty, just when I was on a roll, I drilled this hole in the wrong place. Typical, it should be here, not here. So rather than waste a massive piece of plywood there, I'm going to glue this back in here, let that set, and then put the hole in the right place. But while this is drying, I can work on the other side of the boat anyway. And I don't know whether you saw that, but the GoPro just fell off the top shelf and I managed to catch it. That is a very strange bird I can hear in the background. Just got to wet this out thoroughly, being end grain. 101 of epoxying with plywood, or any wood, any timber, thoroughly soak the end grain if you're gluing that surface. There we go. Just getting these ready for my backing blocks, which sit underneath, and then I'll pull up with some heavy screws, pull those up into place into the glue, and when it's all dry, of course, the screws come out and fill the holes. That's the way to butt join the sheets. they're ready for me to wet out the underneath side and glue into position. But I've just had an offer to go out to lunch, so that's what I'm going to do. And I will let these dry, come back in the morning, get all these surfaces thoroughly wetted out, all the end grain, etc., and glue and screw them down into place. Alrighty, see you guys in the morning. Alrighty, boat lovers, that is it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit me with a whole bunch of questions and comments. Remember, we've got a Q&A coming up soon, so any questions at all, hit me with them and we'll try and get them answered for you. Take care, boat safely, and I'll see you guys in about a week's time. Bye.